All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Alicia McPeak, and you are here because you want to know what all the hype is about CBD. So what are the things we hear? It's great for pain relief, possibly anti-seizure, maybe helps fight cancer, could possibly even help with diabetes, depression, anxiety, and there's so many more things. But I think it's more than just what it can do. I think you really need to know how, why, and quality of product and like how much you should take. So there's all these things that I probably don't even know yet. That's why I'm not speaking tonight. I have my friend Megan, who I met here through my gym, and she introduced me to Melanie. And Melanie's going to be pretty much our host speaker. Megan, do you want to say anything before we start with Melanie?
I just wanted to say I started with CBD. I would say January 1st was my first day, and it has changed my life. I have chronic back pain, and I want to say the first dose I took that day was the first time that literally I had no pain, and I had never had no pain since 2.5 years. I had it every day. So I was hooked literally that first day. And ever since then, I've just been in love with it. My clients use it. Everyone I've been around has tried it. I don't know. It's just been awesome.
It's always great to hear people's stories, their testimonies too. So thank you so much for sharing that.
I have men picking on me right now, so sorry. They're immature.
Not a problem. Well, all right, Melanie, I'm told by Megan that you are the resident expert, that you really know CBD inside and out. So we're so excited to hear from you, get your insight, and just learn more about CBD and Sacred Leaf in particular. So thank you, and take it away. I've got to unmute you. Hold on. Okay, there you go.
Better?
Yes, now we can hear you.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, like I said, I'm not sure if I know how to take it away, but I'll try. I just want to say that I am not even a resident expert. I'm not any kind of expert. I'm up in Kansas, and I feel bad for you guys. I heard it's like 100 degrees down there. You can keep it, okay? Just keep it to yourself. I work for Sacred Leaf. I represent them now, even though I've used CBD for about the last 5 years. I'm not sure what direction you want me to go in, so everybody just kind of ask questions and point out, because everybody's coming from a different angle.
All right, so let me help kick it off then.
Awesome.
So I'll start with some of the questions I had. Of course, I think we all know that CBD is legal in all 50 states, right?
It is legal if you meet your state requirements. So federally, hemp is allowed, but each state had to sign on and agree to the terms. So when a company tells you that they're federally legal, that can mean a lot of different things. For instance, Texas and Kansas are required to have 0.0 THC, where the plant grows with 0.3%. So when you're federally legal, make sure you're reading your state's laws, because that's not the company's job, that's yours.
Ah, okay. So you got to make sure that you've got the right stuff for your state. Okay.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Okay, so let's start with that, because that's like the big question. Before we get into other things, the whole thing about CBD and THC and no THC. So tell us more about that.
Well, CBD comes from hemp, and we have a cousin called marijuana, which a lot of people are assuming we're interchangeable. We're not really. It's a distant relationship. For instance, Kansas has disowned us from the cannabis family. So hemp is its own plant. We're considered a nutritional supplement as long as we remove 100% of that THC. Now, even as hemp grows with 0.3%, it's not going to be enough to give you any kind of that psychedelic effect. Okay, it's not going to be the marijuana that you are used to maybe from the 60s. It's going to be very low dose. You're not going to notice it, and it rarely will show up in a UA. But like I said, Kansas, Iowa, and Texas, you got to take it all out. So you want to make sure that when you're buying CBD, you're looking for 0 if you're in Texas and Kansas. The 0.3%, I don't think that you'd really notice a difference in its effectiveness. The CBD is the medical side of the family. So when you hear about it stopping the seizures and fighting the cancer, that's us. That's not marijuana. The marijuana is going to encourage your appetite if you're fighting these things. And the marijuana will give you the kind of the tune out up here while you're fighting those things. But the rest of that, that's all us.
Right. And so actually, when I was looking into CBD a little bit more about depression, I actually found out that when it has THC in it, it doesn't act on the same receptors as it does when it doesn't, and actually could enhance depression, not help it. So there's actually, okay, cool.
Correct. That's why people get that paranoia sometimes when they're in the buzz.
Okay. That's
okay. I have
Ellen?
a question. Please, real quick. I'm sorry, because you're running through this really fast, and I'm trying to take notes, and I'm not educated on this at all.
Okay.
So the CBD, and then you mentioned another string of letters,
THC.
Okay, what does that mean?
That's the active ingredient in marijuana.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Just
You're
had to
fine.
keep up.
And you guys are welcome to ask questions, but also if you want to just stick something in, there is a chat feature for everybody too. If you want to just stick something in while we're chatting, and we can get to it. But I don't mind you asking questions either. So we'll try and slow down a little bit, Ellen. I know everybody wants to know everything they can. Okay, so
can I ask a question? Do you know what those initials stand for?
with all of them?
Like, what is CBD? What does it translate into if you want to say what it was? Does it have
Cannabidiol.
I'm sorry?
Cannabidiol.
Cannabidiol, okay. And then ETCH, what does that stand for?
THC.
Oh,
You know what?
THC.
And that one is a tongue twister. I will type it out for you.
Oh, but they actually have words behind those initials.
Yes.
Okay.
You know,
Okay,
science
thanks.
likes to make everything really long and put in a lot of, vowels where they don't belong in things. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Melanie, as we move forward and learn more about this, let's hear a little bit about your story and why you started looking into CBD oil and what it's done in your life.
Like I said, I wasn't sure where you wanted to take the conversation because you had mentioned that it was going to be for health purposes, and I represent it as a chronically ill person.
Well, that's health.
About 5 years ago, I was injured at work. Stupid injury. I don't even have a good story for it. I hit my elbow on the corner of the counter. A funny bone was set off. I damaged the ulnar nerve, and it's never turned off. It's manifested into CRPS. It's complex regional pain syndrome. It basically means that the surface of my skin is raw, and I can feel every nerve ending. So I wear long sleeves. I don't do air conditioning. I don't like to be touched. I am the fingers behind Facebook because I don't like to be in person with people. So it's just something that they put me through a lot of rat maze tests for. The doctors were really, it's idiopathic. The doctors don't have an answer. They don't have a reason. So they just try everything they can come up with until you tell them to stop. And CBD changed my life. I was at the wit's end. I was at the, I'm not trying anything else. And I was homebound. I could not leave the house. And my husband is one of those zeros and ones people. There's always an answer. We just don't have the right code yet. And as he was rubbing CBD on my arm, I was cussing him out. I wasn't going to try anything else. You suck. I'm not doing that. Oh my God, the pain's gone. And it's been that way since. I can get up in the morning. I still have symptoms. There are days that I cannot beat it. And those are tough because you have to admit that you're still sick. CBD does a lot of amazing things for me. I'm working full time, and I was housebound for 4 years. So CBD has amazing properties of returning your body to homeostasis. Its main job is to balance you. Now, that being said, you may have to take it every day to maintain that balance. You may take it for a month, break the cycle, and be able to move on. My brain's stuck. I repeat the injury consistently. So I take it every day.
Well, and that's how it is a lot of times with all kinds of different natural remedies. So,
Right.
So let me ask you a question. Let me state this first. So one of the things I love about that, let me ask you this. Did you ever try traditional pain medicine before you went to?
Oh, I was a workman's comp case. You don't really have an option about trying traditional medicine.
Yeah, you have to go through everything.
So we had about 8 doctors. I had 10 different procedures, 26 different medications.
Oh my goodness.
I had the nerve ablated. I had the whole nerve moved.
Wow.
And they just changed the pain.
Not that I'm a fan of okay, they moved the pain? They changed it? They dulled it, or they...
have a surgery or when you're taking medication, you're just changing the way your brain's perceiving the pain.
Exactly. Right. Okay. Well, the reason I asked that is because I think, if I'm remembering correctly, the fastest growing addiction is to that class of drugs, which is escaping me right now. Is it
Opioids?
Yeah, opioids. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, that's a high, and it's because of this very thing, because it's gotten so easy for them to prescribe for chronic conditions, right? Instead of addressing the issue. And then now we've got a whole string of people who are addicted to them because they are physically addicted. Now you've got a whole other host of problems.
Especially when you think about who's in charge of your health care.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you don't get an opinion. It's your insurance company who just wants you to shut up. So if they can prescribe you this pill that will turn off that receptor, you're healed.
Right.
You know, and you're right. They hand them out like Skittles. There's a crisis right now because that was the only thing available. You know, so we can make people knowledgeable and aware that they can ask for this. They can go seek out CBD as an alternative. I think this is the cure for that crisis. I
agree. So one of the things that surprised me when I first spoke to Megan about CBD was that she said it would probably work instantly. That seems to be the case for you too when you started using it the very first time. So is that typical?
I worry about using the word typical because then, you know, hope's a deadly weapon. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up at the first
understand.
But in most cases, if I can get you to try it, I will keep you talking for 10 to 15 minutes until you realize it works. You know, you have an endocannabinoid system in your body.
Right.
It's actually just the same as your respiratory system, your nervous system. Think about how often we used to come in contact with hemp and its properties. We used to wear it. The animals used to eat it. We would eat the animals. You used it for writing. You used it for all of these things. And when it was immediately just wiped out of our life, that endocannabinoid system began to starve. And you notice that's when the pharmaceutical company stepped in and said, oh my, there's a crisis. There was no crisis. It was literally like taking away air. Your respiratory
solution.
Doesn't work without that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I heard you. Does anybody else have a question? I can not ask all the questions. If anybody else does, just let me know. So working instantly and I get the thing about hope. Everybody's body is different. It may take more for some people, but I also think that there may be a dosage kind of thing going on there too. Could you explain dosing to us?
Well, we'd like to start everybody at a 1-to-10 ratio. So keep in mind that CBD is considered a nutritional supplement. The FDA has not evaluated it. Although on a side note, the government does hold the patent on how to extract it, and they do have a patent that is the #1 painkiller. They've held that since the 50s when they outlawed it. Huh. So that being said, we recommend a 1-to-10 ratio. So every 1 pound of body mass, and this goes for people or pets because it's going to do the same thing for your pup that it does for you. 1-to-10 ratio, 1 milligram for every pound, 10 pounds of body mass. So take the first 2 digits of your weight, and that becomes your milligrams. Okay, I weigh 180. My starting dose is 18 milligrams. I know that my body needs at least 18 milligrams a day. If I am going to be going to the shop where there's air conditioning, if I will be encountering some storms, the weather plays a huge part on so many people's health. Mm-hmm. If you see that coming, if you feel it coming way before the weatherman tells you, then you can double, triple, quadruple your dose for the day. Do whatever you need to do to get through that day. You cannot overdose. This is something that's
going to be my next question. Okay.
Process, okay.
Okay.
Now, since you have that endocannabinoid system in you, I relate it to a lot of the school kids as an empty police station. Think about the fact that you've got this station here, and when you are taking CBD, you're just filling it up with police officers, and they're going to go out to distress calls all over your body. So if your digestive system's in trouble, your respiratory system, it will send out troops. They will go help. They will not hurt your system like some of the medications. Sometimes the medication fixes one thing, causes another thing. When those police officers go out and they help, the rest of them sit there and wait. Okay, so it's not going to be like vitamin C or B12. You don't have to just flush it out at the end of the day because you had too much. It's going to roll over. So that being said, when you get up in the morning, if you feel amazing, please take your CBD with you because you may be using some rollover credit here. You know?
Okay.
I'd like to tell people to make sure you get your minimum dose every morning and then take it with you so that you know if you need to double, triple, or how it's going around.
Okay, so your body knows what to do with it. You have these receptors in your body. So wherever your body needs it, it's just going to go there and do its work. And there may be some rollover. So that's kind of cool. So it doesn't necessarily run all the way out, or it can if you don't keep your maintenance dose, but it could kind of carry over into the next day or to the next whatever.
Well, and it's really nice because, especially in the summertime when we have these storms coming through and the low and the high pressure fronts, the barometer affects so many people. I mean, I tripled up my dose today because I want to be able to hop out of bed in the morning and get my day going. I know that tomorrow is going to be a stormy day. I know that the pressure front's coming through. So I can plan for that. I can prepare my body for that. I can wake up tomorrow without regretting it. I can make sure that I'm ready to go.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about other areas that you've seen it work really well in.
I think our number one area is probably anxiety and depression. We are personally in a college town, so I deal with a lot of college kids trying to start a life, be away from home, deal with scheduling and all that. It is really amazing to see just a brain take like a deep cleansing breath is the way I like to describe it, because when you take your CBDs, there are terpenes in the plant, and the terpenes are like an essential oil. And each one of those has a job. For instance, limonene is a very strong terpene in hemp. And limonene comes from lemon rind. So it's the same thing in different areas, just like lavender comes in a lot of things besides lavender. But when you heavy load those different terpenes, you can make CBD do different things for you. So you can calm that respiratory system to keep you from doing the hyperventilating with panic attacks. You can calm the nervous system so that maybe that trigger is not as effective against you. You can learn to work through it. And it's just amazing to watch how fast some of these things can respond. Your body is begging for this in most occasions. And taking something like Xanax, yes, maybe that's going to help with that panic attack, but what's the rest of the day going to look like? Nobody told me when they give me a prescription that take this if you want the rest of your day written off,
Right.
CBD is going to leave you at a balance. It's never going to drop you down. It's never going to make you feel drugged. Even when you're using it to help with sleep, it's going to help you return to that natural circadian rhythm and that balance rather than drugging you and putting you out.
I love that. Okay, so you can't overdose it. You can, a couple things that came up here. They're asking about allergies. It's Lori said it's amazing for anxiety. And let's see, I guess Megan's saying headaches, migraines, all that kind of stuff. Everything from the head up, she feels like it works really well for.
Well, I think a lot of people are very used to the tincture idea. I mean, I have people come in the store every day. I need that stuff that goes under your tongue. Okay, I want you to tell me, why do you think you need that? Because if you're walking in, I don't want to assume that I know everything about you, but don't assume that you know everything about this either. I want to make sure you have the right product. So when you're putting it under your tongue, that's going to be something that starts here. Think about where you're putting it first and where you want it to be. So when we're treating panic attacks, migraines, sinus pressure, toothaches, things like that, putting it under your tongue will help it start here. We have a great product. It's called VG. It's the vegetable glycerin base. It can go under your tongue or it can go in water. And when you put it in water, it's going to be more of a full body relief. That's what we're going to use for digestive issues, muscle issues, just for general calming. If you're taking your CBD for anxiety, I still recommend you take your morning dose in water because that's going to give you some time release and help every system rebalance to fight that anxiety for the day. Now, if you go out and you find a trigger, or if the whole world is just against you today, put it under your tongue. That's your emergency dose. That's going to be 5 to 7 minutes. Whereas when you put it in water, it's about 15 minutes and throughout the day.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
muscle pain is, CBD is a great recovery drink. Okay.
Really?
Great. Yes. We have all the sports teams at the college. Our basketball team's pretty good. I don't know if you guys heard about it. Rock Chalk. And the team is all using CBD in their water. It's a great recovery. It's going to help you rehydrate. It's not just going to go in and mask the muscle or freeze it and warm it. When you're going in there, it's going to repair the muscle. It's going to help it heal, help it keep that strength that you're trying to build up without it seeing those new rips and tears as the enemy. So it's really going to help you achieve what you want to achieve without having those back sets.
Fascinating. Okay. So great for muscle pain.
Lori, you do have to be kind of careful how much you take, but keep in mind you can't overdose. Okay? Your body's going to hold what you don't need for that day, and it's going to, as a side note, make every medication you're taking work better. So if you're used to taking a medication and plateauing every couple months and needing more, which is how we got to this opioid crisis, the CBD will actually make your medication more useful to your body.
Why is that?
Well, when you have one product trying to return yourself to balance and you have another product trying to tackle a problem, if you put them together and we can get the problem taken care of and get the body back to balance, it's a win-win scenario.
Okay, so you're hitting it from both sides kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that we really stress when you come in is that continue to take your medication. Please don't think that this is going to be the miracle cure overnight, that you don't need to take blood pressure medication anymore.
Right.
It's going to be a very fast process for how much longer you need to take it. But if you're on like painkillers, please be aware of your body, not the clock. Okay, so if you're used to taking a painkiller every 4 to 5 hours, I don't want you to hear the alarm go off and rush and take your pill. I want you to take a minute, evaluate how you feel, evaluate if it's still working, because you're going to find that the time in between them grows. I got off my opioids within 4 months, and I was on them for 4.5 years.
Wow.
Nasty things. Okay,
Yeah.
they're very nasty things. And if it makes you feel better, it'd be fine. But usually.
Well, no, they're just masking, like you mentioned before. It's a mask. It never really solves the problem. So I assume it works the same way for somebody who would be on depression medication. It would be something that they could start listening to their body. But most depression medications, you also don't want to stop in one go either. You usually want to really go slow on a lot of them, because your body has stopped doing what it needs to do. And so your body has to start building up that ability again. So I'm assuming that the CBD oil would give that support to your body to do what it needs to do in the first place, and then maybe even take it to another level because it's filling these receptors.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's acting on those receptors in your body. And you said these receptors are everywhere in your body?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have great maps. I'll put some up on the page for you. When you think about, a lot of people come in and they go, I don't understand how this works. And I would love to walk through the science. That's not my forte. You got to bring Scott on. He's like my geek.
Okay.
If it's got a lot of X's and Y's in it, Scott's like, yeah. So when you think about your body, imagine that there's just little ports everywhere for these policemen, and when there's nobody working, we're not working, and I break it down Barney style for you, but that's usually the way that people understand. I mean, the science is amazing, and there's so many articles about it. It comes down to the fact your body needs it. I mean,
yeah,
you starved it.
that makes sense to me. So Ellen asked, does it build up? And what I think I heard you say is that your body will use what it needs for that day. If you're having symptoms, you could take more. So you can't really take too much. Although, Lori, I'm going to have to ask you a little bit more, or maybe Melanie, you can explain what Lori meant. But anything it doesn't use today, it will kind of roll over to the next day. But the question is, will it actually build up in your body? I'm assuming you mean in a detrimental way, right, Ellen? Does it all build up? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like when you're taking meds for depression, or that builds up in your body.
So you have a few days after you stop a medication, usually not opioids, but like a depression medication, before it actually starts hitting you again. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm really depressed again. So is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So Melanie?
Well, I can tell you that it depends on how much you're going to take every day. If you are taking your standard dose, say 18 milligrams, and your body needs 20, obviously we're not building up, but if your body only needed 10 and we're rolling over 8 every day, yes, eventually you will have excess where it'll take a couple days to wear off if you stopped using it.
Because you're pushing.
Yes. And it's really nice because sometimes, I like to get up in the morning and think that I'm a healthy person. So I
Right.
skip my meds, you know.
Or if for some reason that you're out and you can't get it, or you lost it in your luggage, like you'd have a little bit of residual rollover there to kind of cushion you.
We have a lot of people come in and go, I went on vacation and it's home on the counter. I just need to get through this week. I'm like, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
All right. So
there's a negative effect though.
it's not negative because it's not a drug, so it's not going to create a compound negative effect.
Right.
Okay. So Megan, when she showed me what y'all had with Sacred Leaf, she showed me that there were bottles that had different, like there was 250 and then I think, I don't know, more, right? What's the difference there?
Okay, so our potency is the biggest difference. When you figure out what your number is for the day, if you've got your 1 to 10 ratio, for example, mine is 18, I know I need to start with that number. When you start with, say, a 250 milligram potency, each one of those droppers will have 8.3 milligrams in it. So obviously, if I need to get to 18 from 8.3, I'm going to need to take over 2 of those droppers a day. Whereas if I got a stronger bottle.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish explaining.
Oh, well, if I got a stronger bottle, the next one up is 500 milligrams.
Okay.
And that full dropper is 16.6. So I'm only going to need just a little bit over 1 dropper of that. So as you buy a stronger potency, the bottle does not get bigger, it gets stronger. So when you buy, say, when you get a prescription for ibuprofen from the doctor that's 2,000 milligrams, it's the same size as the pill that's at the drugstore. It's just got more in it and it's going to be more effective. So CBD is the same way. We pack it full with more power, not more water. So you can buy the different strengths and take more or less throughout the day. And then each one of those will last you a different amount of time, depending on how much you need to take. We have a lot of customers that come in and get the 500 milligram and then everybody in the house shares it. So it lasts for like 10 days. But in the first 2, you're going to know how it works for you. So now everybody in the house has got a really great trial period. Excuse me. And you can figure out your dosage and you can see how you can play with it, how fast it responds on an emergency basis or in water, the different ways you can take it. 10 days is a great amount of time to see what this is going to do for you. And if you can do that for $40, my goodness, that's a copay, guys.
Well, and I'm pretty sure so let me address some questions, but as far as price goes, I just think that from the different brands I've looked at on the internet, recommended brands, Sacred Leaf seems to be very competitively priced on probably on the side of way less expensive.
Well, we price everything by the milligrams so that know, even if you're buying a liquid or if you're buying the pain cream or if you're buying an edible, if you know your number, it's going to be the same price no matter how you want to take it.
Okay, so let's get some of these questions here. Diane?
You keep saying when you know your number. How do you know your number? That out.
Well, we start at a 1 to 10 ratio. 1 milligram for every 10 pounds of body mass.
Oh, okay.
The first 2 digits of your weight.
Okay.
And that'll be where you start. And that is just a starting point. Okay. Don't ever think that, oh my gosh, I took my 16 milligrams this morning and I still feel like crap. Well,
take some more.
Take more.
Okay.
Yes.
1 to every 10 pounds of body weight is where you start.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
And that applies for you and your pets. So keep in mind that if you've got an arthritic older dog or if you've got a really hyper dog, 4th of July is coming up, and if they hate thunderstorms and fireworks, you can dose the pets the same way.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that is good information. Okay, so Ellen, did you have a question before I start reading questions?
Yes, but go ahead because it has left me. Go ahead.
So I have a son-in-law who would like to use it, but he does get drug tested. I see this coming up a lot. And I know that you said that sometimes they do. Is that just because it's not the 0 that you guys have here in Texas? Or?
Right. When you're looking for CBD, and I hope you come to Sacred Leaf because we will talk to you, but I want you to shop. I shopped around. I've got probably everybody's product in this house somewhere. So let me tell you what to look for. You want to look for CO2 extraction. Okay, that's how they're taking the THC out of the hemp. They're using CO2, and it basically makes the THC, which is the psychedelic compound, it makes it rise to the top, and we can skim it off. There are a lot of faster and cheaper ways to do that, so make sure you look for CO2 extraction.
Okay.
And do not be fooled by cheap stuff. You get what you pay for, and everybody can print a label. So you want CO2 extraction, you want to look for 0 THC, THC free, and you want to make sure you turn around the back and read those ingredients, because a lot of people are going to say that they're federally legal, and that does not mean THC free. Okay, the government will let you have 0.3%, and that could possibly show up. It's a very rare chance, but if you go with Sacred Leaf, we've got 0. And we took it out to like the 10th decimal place. Okay, we're better than pi right now, so we got rid of it. Texas, yes, there's 0 THC in Texas.
Okay, perfect.
So, and that's, if you go to our website and you order, you want to specifically tell them that you're in Texas or Kansas, because we do make both sides. Okay, we have stores in Missouri that can carry the 0.3%. I've tried them both. I haven't noticed any difference. I think you're better off just ordering 0. Why would you risk it going somewhere?
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so I think I've kind of run out of questions. So let's open it up to you guys if you have anything that we haven't covered so far.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
I posted about muscle. I don't know what I wrote exactly, but she addressed that it's great for recovery, but I'm not talking about recovery. I'm talking about a chronic pain, something that's going on. You know, I've run across a lot of this with people. So.
Absolutely. I think you'll find that if you're going to try our VG and put it in water, that you will get some relief in the first 15 minutes. It goes in and it wants to relax the nerves. When you're having muscle pain or any kind of pain signal sent to your brain, it's because the nerve is stuck. There's inflammation or there's an injury around the nerve, and it's sending out that signal so that somebody will give it some help. So we can address that inflammation or that signal to your brain within the first 15 to 20 minutes, and it will go to the CBD, will go to that area and help begin that recovery process. Again, I am horrible with the science. I apologize. I should have made Scott stay home and help, but it's truly an amazing thing that does not affect the rest of your systems. You'll find that when you use a lot of medications that are prescribed for muscle recovery or muscle pain, that the first thing it does is attack your digestive system. And CBD will actually work with both those systems. Another thing to address when you're talking about muscular pain, fibromyalgia and MS are some of our biggest reasons, I guess. I think about all of our friends at the store and then they're just suffering with so many different things. But when you talk about MS or Parkinson's, especially, and that nervous system and the muscular system are basically battling each other, it's amazing to see the CBD go in, and it hits both areas. It's going to go to your brain and talk about the nervous system, and it's going to go to those muscles and calm them. I've watched tremors stop in 10 minutes. I hate to tell stories about amazing things because I sound like a snake oil salesman, but if any of you guys just come into a store and sit down and watch, it's just amazing. I would do this job for free just because the people that come in are transformed.
So I understand what you're saying about how it calms down the nerve reaction, the signal that's coming back to the brain. So I guess my curiosity is it actually helping to heal the muscle so that you wouldn't have to continue to use the CBD to calm the nerve, to bring all these systems back to working? Like you said, I understand it puts the digestive system off.
Well, that'll depend on what's causing. Like I said, my condition, I cannot break the cycle enough to stop using. Depending on Parkinson's, we're not curing Parkinson's, we're curing all the pieces that cause the reaction of Parkinson's. And I can tell you that I've had some customers that have realized that they need to take maybe a dose every other day. I have some that are still on every day. It's really a body by body thing. And keep in mind now, we're feeding a system that helps repair the other systems. So when you stop feeding that system, it's going to depend on how well it's healed everything else.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Sharon? Does that help?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
So we might have to dig into that a little bit more. Maybe, Melanie, your husband could write some kind of it was your husband?
Oh no, Scott's the coworker.
Scott,
yeah,
okay,
and you know what? If you join the group or if you're on our Facebook page, we love to post the articles. We love to try to explain things. And the scariest part about it is making general statements about things like that. You know, everyone is such an individual. I can tell you what it did for me. I can tell you what it did for this customer or this customer. But as far as your personal condition, I can't tell you if CBD will fix it in 5 minutes or if you're taking it for the rest of your life.
Right.
And it's going to depend a lot on your daily lifestyle too. You know, I have customers that come in and say, can I put my CBD in Dr. Pepper? You know, I'm trying to relax your system, right? Okay.
Right.
So, you know, it just, everybody's so different.
Okay.
So Alicia, what's your experience with this?
I only have tried it once. I bought it for my daughter when I bought it, not for myself. But I'm very, very interested in, and that actually is, I know I've looked at things that were specific to our situation, but there is definitely some scientific research out there. Not a lot, because, you know, who's going to, unless the big drug company is going to make money on something, they're usually not going to do the research, but there is some.
For a synthetic CBD, FDA.
Right, that's all they want to do, because then they can patent it. Yeah.
Right. So maybe there will be some decent research put into why it works now, at least, even if they're making fake.
Yeah, so I don't have a personal experience. This is part of why I wanted to do this. So the company's name is Sacred Leaf. They do have stores locally. Obviously, you have a store in Kansas, because that's where you are, right?
Yes,
And
one in Katy, Texas, on West Green Boulevard. Megan's carrying some of the products in spring. And we can always send it to you if you want to check out our website. We mail everywhere because of that 0 THC policy. We can send it anywhere in the world.
And what is that website? I'll type it in here so everybody gets it.
CBD sacredleaf.com. CBDsacredleaf.com.
Melanie, is this your own company? You and Scott's company?
No, Trevor actually owns this company, and he's off hobnobbing with the governor tonight. I just work, and I get promoted to all of these events because I'm the chronically ill person.
Okay. And the company's based out of Kansas?
Yes.
Okay.
And somebody asked where it was made, I think was a question. Was that right? Did somebody ask where it was, I'm assuming it's grown and made somewhere. Yeah. Yeah,
we are seed to store from Colorado. So we own the farm, the manufacturing facility, the bottling facility. When we get a batch in, it comes with lab results, and those are all put on our website and in each store. So you can see every single person that has touched your product since it was a seed.
Wow,
that's
nice.
Awesome. That's another thing you really want to watch for when you're buying CBD. A lot of companies, if you start getting those lower prices, you're going to get those lower milligrams, and you're going to probably find out that it's from overseas, which is amazing because Europe is millennials ahead of us on this open thinking of natural remedies, but it's got to go through a lot of people to get to you. And once so many people have opened a package and looked through it, we got kind of leery about what's happened to it. So yeah, we're all seed to store from Colorado. You know, they're miles ahead of this idea.
Yeah. Okay. Who else has a question?
I was asking also, because I came in a little bit late, I missed Megan's story. Is she still here? Can she share it?
Yeah, she sure is.
Again? Sorry, Megan.
I'm sure she'd be happy to. Do I need to unmute you, Megan, or can you do it?
Okay, I think I figured it out. Sorry. No, I'm a medical massage practitioner, so I'm on my feet every day, all day, and I have chronic back pain. And I was looking for something because I do not take prescriptions. And Trevor was the one who introduced me to CBD. And my first dose I took as a tincture. It actually wasn't even a whole dose. It was a half a dose. I can tell you all about it. And it worked almost immediately. And it was probably the first day in about 2.5 years I had no pain. And if you're in pain every day, to feel no pain just from one dose, I was almost in tears, actually. So
chronic pain.
I was hooked, literally. And so before I started actually supporting Sacred Leaf and selling Sacred Leaf in Spring, Texas, you know, I had my whole family, all my friends, and everyone had the same result, and it was almost immediate. And I have been massaging for 10 years, so I have some loyal clients that were willing to try the products as well, and they had the same result. So after months of doing that, I'm like, this is what I was put to do. You know, I have to support this because it is organic, it's natural, and I mean, if I can't, you know, I know I'm here to help people, and so it's the best thing actually that's ever happened to me, at least, you know, recently. So
I remember my first day, I cried and cried. I was like, holy crap, where's this plant been?
yeah, I know exactly how you feel. It's life-changing, and to see it on your client's face means the world, actually.
Yeah. So the gym that Megan is out of, where she has actual product, is in Spring on 2920. And I'm sure that if you came in there, she'd be happy to even talk to you about the different products, because there is a handful of different products too. Yes, Lori.
I will sample to you. And since I am a massage therapist, I will apply it if you would want to try it topically. I can teach you like how to use it, kind of find the right dosage for you. Any information you want, you know, you're more than welcome to come in and talk to me about it.
That's what I did. I walked up to her
How
and
do
said,
we get in touch with you?
you want to type in your phone number, Megan? Can you do that?
Okay, let me get that out, but I'll get it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll get her info to you.
I'm going to tap it in right now, okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you sell this at your gym? I'm confused.
It's
Not a store.
Yeah.
I'm just confused.
Her storefront.
It is a store. It is a store, but it's inside Spring Fitness.
Okay.
Okay. I don't live in Spring, so I don't know when you talk about this place. I don't know what it is.
It's okay. We can.
If you, I'll go ahead and post the Facebook page as well, so you can go on there and see the information if that helps. Okay.
Now, I heard Megan say that you can do it topically in a massage. So this product can be, you can eat it, you can put it topically. Are those the two ways that you can use it?
Megan, you want that one?
Topically, yes, you can do edibles. And I'm typing at the same time. I'm sorry. So bear with me. Topically is obviously more my realm because I am a massage therapist, and that's what I do every day, literally with all my clients. You know, and so everyone knows me in the gym as they can walk up and be like, "Hey, can I have some cream on it because I'm hurting here?" Sure. You know, it is awesome. I mean, that's all I have to say. I love the cream. So
For chronic, I'm guessing that for chronic pain, it must. I heard a little bit with you, Melanie, but I'm thinking now that I've thought about it, it must address the inflammation involved with chronic pain as well. So
yes, it does. So
I assume it would address inflammation overall, which, you know, is if we have inflammation in our body, which most of us do to some level, then we are already in a disease state. So that's something everybody wants to address.
Right. So one thing with me that I found that has worked and has worked with several of my clients is the tincture. And so if you're taking the tincture, you can take the tincture daily underneath the tongue, you know, or, you know, Melanie said with a VG, you can also mix it in water. And that's kind of like a daily thing that I kind of put into my lifestyle. The cream is more as needed. And so a lot of times I can take tincture in the morning and I'm fine for a day or two, you know, depending on the dose that I take. And if I feel like I need cream later on, then I can use that cream. But it's literally a little, like, I want to say my finger. So you're putting a rice size amount or fingertip amount of that cream on an area if you're in pain in that area. And that's what works, not immediately, but literally in about a minute or two, you're going to feel a change in that area.
So what about, I know I'm jumping in here. What about energy? Like when people are in a constant state of fatigue, you know, their thyroid is an issue. And have you had anybody have that experience?
Sure. And I think, Melanie, I don't know if you can kind of touch base on that. Do you have anyone that has experience with the fatigue part of it?
Well, we have a lot of MS patients that are experiencing the the immune system breaks down and things. And the one thing I can tell you as far as energy is it's not going to hit you like a Red Bull. It's going to try to balance every other system. So we're going back to the homeostasis idea here, where if we can get that thyroid, thyroid regulated again, if we can get the metabolism regulated again, we won't have those ebbs and flows, and you'll be more steady on your energy level.
Well, I have to imagine too, Sharon, that any coming from the holistic nutrition and wellness perspective, this is another tool that could really help. But if you kind of, like you said, you really shouldn't drink Dr. Pepper, and you especially shouldn't put it in Dr. Pepper, right? Because you're going against everything you're trying to create. So the healthier your body is, I imagine, the better results you're going to get. The healthier gut is not, this is going to help those issues, right? But you still have to, I would think, still have to do the other things that are going to help your body be healthy along the way, to have a healthy gut, it's going to help with your immune system, right? But you don't want to be doing things that are going to conflict with an autoimmune issue as well, because then you're just fighting against it all the time. Am I right, Ryan?
When you're watching your diets and you're watching your salt intake and everything else that goes with, retaining the water or bogging down your system, inhibiting your digestive system. We get the people that want to put it in coffee and soda. Yes, you can do that. Yes, it's amazing. It's got a different purpose then, because we're giving you some and you're taking away some. So we're just going to end up right back where you started. We ask that when you are using for your first 2 weeks, keep a journal. Keep a journal of when you need it, what the weather's like, what you triggered, what you encountered. And a lot of people are realizing that the pain sets in 2 hours after morning coffee. Well, when you're drinking an entire pot of coffee in the morning, what have you done to our system? We've hyped it up. We've filled it with caffeine. We've asked it to ramp up. And then your CBD is asking it to rein it back. So you're fighting. Why would you take a medication and then do everything that you're trying to get the medication to prevent? You take the acid reflux medication and go have Mexican. Well, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't,
Well, we know it doesn't ever get to the core of the issue.
Right.
It's like throwing water and then relighting the fire if you're not taking care of it from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a couple of people haven't asked any questions. I'm going to make sure that you guys get a chance too. So Becky, Lindsay, Angela, and I see a phone that says Castle.
Lori raised her hand on something.
Yes, she did. That's right. Thank you. I said she did, but then we got lost in the conversation. Lori, did you have something to say? Wants to share something? Yes, please do. Thanks, Ellen.
Can y'all hear me?
We sure can.
Okay. So I just want to start by saying I've been in the dental field for over 20 years, and I experience a horrific amount of pain every day. It's gotten very, try not to get emotional, but I literally do what I can to go to work every day and come home. And I have a 9-year-old daughter, and it takes everything I have to come home and just function as a mom. So I've been researching, because I can't take Advil because of the bleeding in my stomach, and I can't take pain medicine of any type because I'm in so much pain. And so I've been researching this, and Megan's sister posted something on our residents' Facebook page last week, and I was like, I had already been researching it, but I was like, wow, this is awesome. So I messaged her. And so I have been playing with the oil, the gummies, and the topical for actually a week today. And oh my gosh, I mean, I'm just amazed at how much it's helped me. My fiance struggles with severe anxiety, and it's really helped him. My daughter has ADD, and she just started on the lowest dose of Concerta, which I was so against, but she failed 3rd grade this year, which they're still pushing her on to 4th grade, which made no sense to me. But I was looking for anything and everything that may help her. And the Concerta literally overnight helped her. So my next project is to experiment with this for the rest of the summer and hopefully get her on the gummies to help her instead of being on a prescription medication. So I just feel like God has answered my prayers and helped me with this. And I'm very passionate about it. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's not a miracle drug, but if I can do something that's plant-based, that's from above, then prescription medications, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's an amazing story, Lori. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Lori.
Well, and you have to, here's back to the point I was making before about having the base of health in your body, right? This is a medicinal plant, right? So it can be used in replacement of medicines. It's a better opportunity, a better choice every time over a medicine. So if you can solve any of the issues that the doctors want to solve with medicine using CBD, then do that. And continue to do everything you can to help your body become the healthiest it can be and keep it the healthiest it can be, because the healthier your body is, the better this is going to work for you too. Make sense? Thank you, Lori. That was really an amazing story. Lindsay, Angela, or Becky, did you guys have anything you wanted to ask or share? No, you're good?
I have a question.
Okay, awesome.
How does it work with chemo and breast cancer? I have 2 family members that have breast cancer.
And how does it work with cancer, period?
Yeah.
What's the deal about cancer and CBD?
Well, are they in treatment right now?
One is stage 4. She's got 3 months. And then the other one is stage 2, and she's in treatment.
Okay. So part of the process of chemo, and it's another one of those wonderful things that science has come up with, but keep in mind that we're just filling your body with so much poison that anything will die. Part of the process of using CBD during treatment is going to be to help your body recover from that poison. The chemo is actually going in and seeking out those cells, but it kills everything within a radius of them. CBD is going to go in and kind of help the chemo target. It's going to go in, and it already knows the cancer cells. It doesn't need to destroy this whole area. It needs to go in and it kind of wheedles around and it finds them. It knows that they're the problem. We refer to it a lot like a bloodhound. It's going to go in, it's going to sniff through your whole body. That's the problem. We need to get rid of that. Now, as far as curing cancer, that's another one of those things that you hate to tote too loudly, but I've seen amazing things happen because of this plant. Like I said, it wants to decipher the good from the bad in your body. It wants to balance your body back out by getting rid of the bad and leaving the good. I have many friends at the store that are using it through their treatment to maintain a level of health while they're subjecting themselves to this to save their lives. It's a great recovery tool, not just from a workout, but from the chemo. I would recommend at least quadrupling your dose, because we're going to get in there and we're going to be fighting against the chemo and the cancer. I know hope is a deadly weapon, but you have nothing to lose trying this with it. And I've got many friends at the store that are defying their numbers. You know, they are shocking doctors. And I always encourage you to talk to your doctor about this, but if you need information to take to them because they're going to look at you and go, huh? Please reach out to any of us. We will give you all the information you need to go with them. And I've never had a doctor say no. I've never had a doctor say, oh, well, I don't think we should do that. This isn't, you know, they either know nothing about it or they look at you and go, I wish I could prescribe that. Yes, you should try that. Yes, you should be doing that. My own doctor, I saw a workman's comp doctor for 5 years. And once I settled with workman's comp, I walked back in and said, now that you work for me, have you ever heard of this? And he goes, we obviously haven't started trying it yet, or you wouldn't be asking me, because it'll fix it.
Whoa.
Yeah, the doctors know, okay? They can't tell you. They're not being paid to promote this. I'm not going to get a hemp leaf on a stationary pad that paid for their next vacation. They know it works, though, okay? They know it works. And if you have an honest doctor and you take it in and you show them what you're using, they can't deny it.
Okay.
I'd strongly encourage. And you know what? Megan and I will gladly send some over to try. Just reach out to one of us. I tease all the time at the store that I'm a drug dealer and I love to give out samples, but Megan will be the first to tell you, all you gotta do is try it once. Just try it once. I will change your mind and your body.
Yeah, I definitely want to get for my mother-in-law.
Absolutely.
So I was given some hemp oil for my birthday.
Was it hemp oil or CBD?
Hemp oil. Definitely says hemp oil, but I can't read anything else.
No.
It's got a great label. She's got her magnifying glass. Yeah, it's required for most of them.
You tiny little writing. So I was curious if I brought it in. Could you look at it?
Yeah, any of us will look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can also take a picture of it and post it in the group or send it directly to Megan over Facebook or Melanie over Facebook. They'll help you with that too. So you don't have to.
Front and back?
Probably
Yes.
best. Yeah, give them everything.
Yeah. And I get a lot of people in that, you know, they're like, I'm using hemp oil and I'm doing this and this. Okay, there's two different things here, guys. So imagine hemp oil is vegetable oil for cooking and CBD is medicine. So they're not the same thing. Hemp oil is great in omegas and fatty acids. It's very competitive with fish oil. You should make popcorn in it. It's amazing. It's got a really nutty feel when you cook with it.
Sounds good.
And it's really great for your cholesterol and things like that. But it's not an anti-inflammatory, okay? It's not medicine.
Right.
And if you can buy it at the grocery store, it's not medicine, okay?
Okay.
Well, no, this came from the friend who gave it to me. Her daughter is a distributor.
Okay.
That.
Of that.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, so it may not be CBD though. Did you catch that, Ellen?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We'll decipher it for you.
Perfect. All right, guys. We've been here an hour, and that was our time limit. So I really want to just first of all thank everybody who shared their story. Lori, Melanie, Megan. Thank you guys so much for sharing your story, but also thank you for spending your time sharing the information and the education, because the more information we could get to people that will give them natural means to help anything that they have going on, the happier I'm going to be. And you guys too. So we just got to help people. So this is a recorded call. I will, I'll have to upload it, but once I do, I will post it in the invites, the event groups, so you can get it from there. I won't post it on any of the CBD pages, guys. If y'all want to do that, you can, but I will post it in the invite so that you can get it from there, or you can watch it from there if you want to, okay? You can get the link from there. So you can watch the whole thing or share. All right. Any last questions before we go, or comments from you, Melanie or Megan?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have like 6 people I can't wait to share this recording with.
Yeah.
This is
Thanks,
Yeah, I
Alicia.
feel the same way. Thank you, Alicia.
Thank
and
you.
Melanie and Megan
Yeah.
and everyone for your questions. Really educational.
Thanks, Alicia.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Alicia, for putting us together.
You're welcome.
Everyone have a good night.
You too.
You too.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Bye.